How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading when the price is going up or down. Dogecoin Sweepstakes case heads to the Supreme Court. The lawsuit alleges that the crypto exchange Coinbase misled users about the requirements to enter its 2021 Trade Doge Win Doge promotion. The class action lawsuit accused Coinbase of obscuring the fact that users could enter the 1.2 million Dogecoin giveaway for free without having to trade $100 of the meme currency on the platform. It argues that Coinbase deliberately concealed this in order to drive trading volume for its new Doge listing. According to the lawsuit, Coinbase's sweepstakes rules included a way to enter without payment by mailing a 3x5 index card as required by law, but it was in the fine print that no one could really see. Will Caroline Ellison and Sam Bankman-Fried's other co-defendants go to prison? Sam Bankman-Fried was convicted as a criminal and he is destined for decades behind bars in a brutal federal prison. What fate will behalf his co-defendants? Ellison, Singh, and Wang still face max prison sentences of 110, 75, and 50 years respectively, even with their aid. In exchange for their testimonies, prosecutors did make an agreement to send letters, known as 5K motions, to the trial sentencing judge on their behalf. Those letters will describe in detail both the co-defendants' criminal conduct as well as the degree as to which they aided the prosecution's case. The notes won't recommend specific sentence lengths though, so that's up to Judge Lewis Kaplan, who will also determine Bankman-Fried's sentence, which has a hearing set for March 28th, 2024. Coinbase ready to hit the ground running on Bitcoin ETF approval, says COO. We are ready to hit the ground running. Choi said they should add credibility to the market, and we should see increased liquidity and market stability. This happened with other asset classes such as gold ETFs. Crypto mongos such as the Winklevoss twins have pursued ETF-like products that let investors gain Bitcoin exposure in a brokerage account for more than a decade. The SEC has hesitated to approve anything so far, but people are getting a little excited because of Grayscale's courtroom victory and several other financial giants such as BlackRock and Fidelity that have joined. JP Morgan analysts think that it's most likely that Bitcoin ETFs could get approved within the next 3 months. Over on our Dixie, we are starting our breakdown with a manipulation X today. If we confirm a break of this Fibonacci zone, we could see a continual push to that purple EMA. Our RSI and stochastic are pushing out. Our momentum is pushing away with our VWAP heavy in the bearish territory with a lower low. Our money flow is starting to round away, so overall things are looking a little bit more bearish like we have been warning of. We got about half our breakout, so I would exercise caution. If you're in any kind of short, maybe you want to take some profit. Not financial advice. Total is starting to round here. We have a little bit of a long lower shadow candle after this indecision candle, so that could show that sellers are getting exhausted. We would need a strong green candle to confirm that and push us forward. Stochastic is starting to round with a bearish cross. RSI is starting to fall here. Our momentum has a double red dot. Our money flow is struggling to maintain bullish momentum up in this high 1379 zone, and our VWAP doesn't really know where it wants to be right now. If that VWAP starts to pull bearish, then we're likely going to see a pull to the downside. So it's going to be important where our next strong candle is. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are starting to continue to stair step down. RSI is heading down, our momentum is falling, stochastic's continuing to fall, and money flow is struggling at that 25. Our VWAP is rejecting that neutral, so it's very likely we could see a continued push and test the support zone. This could make a head and shoulders, where this would be a shoulder, head, we make another shoulder, get a fake pump, then start to reject and see some more downside. If that were the case, we could see a push right around that 50% zone, so we would drop right around this previous trend back here. Over on our Bitcoin futures, we are testing the bottom of our gapped area. Our stochastic and momentum are falling, RSI is falling. Our stochastic has bearish divergence, our momentum is starting to push away. With it falling while we're still trying to stay within the area, we could form bearish divergence on momentum as well. That VWAP starting to pull away from the neutral, so I would keep a close eye on things. Our money flow is starting to fall as well. If we make a lower low or stay within this zone and start zigzagging around, it's very likely we will see a continued push down. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we are getting a test of our bottom of our gapped area here as well. We got about a third of our push to our flag or our descending channel. Our RSI and stochastic are pushing out. Momentum's pushing away. Our VWAP is rejecting that neutral. Our money flow is maintaining bullish momentum, but it's starting to come down. So if the lower time frames start to flip bearish, we will see a pull to the downside. Remember, when you get that 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour confirmation, you get a pull to the downside. Over on the 4 hour, we are coming up to resistance, trying to retest it for a second time. We did warn about the first retest in our Discord, so if you're not in that Discord, smash that like, join that Discord link you see up above and or down below, and follow us by hitting those notifications. RSI is overall trending out, momentum is pushing away, money flow is struggling, that stochastic starting to round off, and the VWAP is struggling to break through the neutral here. If our VWAP doesn't push through the neutral, and the lower time frames start to get bearish momentum behind them, it's very likely we will get a push to the downside. Over on the 2 hour, we are seeing a few EMAs get really tight. That is when you get a lot of resistance. We are seeing our EMAs trying to make a trend reversal as they are starting to curl here. Our lower EMAs are above our higher EMAs, and they are starting to come back down and come below. They are making a retest to try and establish a new bullish trend to try to snap back up like it did back here. However, if it starts to pull back, then it's very likely we would get a rejection and try to break through these other EMAs and possibly fill the rest of this pattern. Stochastic is pushing up, RSI is pretty flat, our VWAP is in the bullish territory, keeping its momentum, but it's struggling to break through this resistance. Momentum is pushing forward, and our money flow is struggling to maintain a trend, so I would keep a close eye on our lower time frame, the 1 hour, and see how that's doing. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is starting to round away, RSI is struggling to get new highs, our momentum is starting to round over. That VWAP is in the bullish territory, but it's very weak. If it starts to roll over here and starts to favor the bearish territory, we could see a trend flip to the bearish side. We did get a manipulation X, but that didn't play out to bring us down. We could get another one. When you see them in pairs, that's usually when they play out. That one played out alone, but these ones had pairs. This was a pair. Over on graph on the daily, if it'll switch, we are trying to meet some resistance here as well. We are within this previous channel that we did say we could meet some resistance in. If we zoom out for our volume profile, our value area high is up here around that 1578 or 1579-ish area. We are getting rejected for the second time with this higher EMA. Stochastic is falling, momentum is pushing away. We have a double red dot. Our VWAP is struggling to maintain bullish momentum, and our money flow looks like it wants to round away. If that VWAP falls to the bearish side, it's very likely we will see more action to the downside. Over on the 4-hour, you can see we're in a bit of an up channel. Up channels are bearish patterns that break you down. This up channel wouldn't play out too aggressively as it's not that wide. The wider they are, the bigger they're going to bring you down. Remember, you want the more candle touches that you can get, so maybe we bring it down here. Touch those candles. Would have a bit of a push right around the 9 cent, 9.375. So I would watch out for that to be another area where we retest. That would make sense because that is area where we had a previous trend from before we broke up. RSI is coming out, momentum's coming down, so we could make a retest of that zone, try to establish a trend up. If that trend up fails, we would likely see an overall push to the downside. Stochastic is pushing forward with bearish divergence, momentum has bearish divergence, money flow is struggling, pushing down overall. That VWAP's in the bullish territory, but it looks like it wants to roll away, so I would just exercise some caution. Over on the 2-hour, RSI is starting to trend down, our VWAP is starting to fall, money flow is struggling to establish a trend, our momentum wants to roll over, RSI is starting to fall, so overall we could see a push to the downside here. Over on the 1-hour, we have a reversal arrow. We tried to pump away from it. We did get a little bit of a hammer candle that wanted to suggest sellers had no strength, but we are seeing sellers come in. That's why in Bitcoin I said even though we have that long lower shadow candle, watch for a confirmation. This would be an invalidation if we see a big red candle pull us under, or continued red candle start to edge us down. Our stochastic does have a bearish cross, momentum has a double red dot, RSI is falling, that VWAP wants to break to the bearish side, money flow wants to break bearish, so overall the 1-hour looks like it could flip to the bearish trend and bring us down. I would keep a close eye on it. Over on Anchor for the daily, we are starting to pull away from this previous area where we had some resistance. So we are confirming that area is resistance so far. Our stochastic has a bearish divergence. We have a double red dot and momentum. Our momentum is starting to fall. Our VWAP wants to push into the bearish territory, and our money flow is in danger of rounding away here. So I would watch the lower time frames. If they start to weaken, it's very likely we will see lower price action. Our 4-hour here has a bit of an up channel just like graph. So just like graph, that could end up breaking us to the downside. It may be a little bit wider. If I can grab the right part, that would push us to our black I would push us to our black EMA levels, right around that 2 cent level, so I would watch for that. Maybe we could get a bounce off that, continue forward. RSI is overall starting to trend out, so I would watch out for that. Our stochastic has bearish divergence, momentum has bearish divergence. Our VWAP is in the bullish territory, but it looks like it could round away, so I would watch it closely. Our money flow is coming out overall, so I would watch the lower time frames and see if they have more bearish momentum. Over on the 2-hour, our stochastic wants to round away, RSI wants to round away, our money flow is overall trending out, the VWAP is starting to fall, our momentum wants to round, so we could see a push to the downside, or a possible test to the support zone. Over on the 1-hour, we have a reversal arrow here with a bearish engulfing candle that could form to try to push us down. Our stochastic has a bearish cross that wants to bring us down, which is causing our RSI to roll away. Our momentum wants to roll over here as our VWAP is starting to weaken, and our money flow is starting to push down. If our money flow breaks this zone around this 0.1 to 14, then we could see a bearish trend to the downside, as that does seem to be a zone where it is helping sustain price action to zigzag sideways upwards. Did not mean to circle. Over on XRP, we are starting to fall here. We are trying to get into this previous resistance zone. We do have that value area high around the 70 cent that we could still push to.
but our stochastic does want to push out. Momentum has a double red dot. RSI looks like it wants to push down, but with that stochastic going kind of sideways, it could continue up or stay sideways. Our VWAP's overall getting lower highs and wants to break to the bearish side, so if it gets a strong push to the downside and gets lower lows, we could see our price action start to fall here and start to break some of these resistance areas. Our money flow wants to roll away as well, so we will have this as a possible support resistance area. This could be a support resistance area. We're going to get rid of the flag since we've been well out of it for a while, but we could get tested this value area low if we're not careful, right around that 46-cent zone. If we broke that, then we could talk about filling this wick or possible previous resistances. Our RSI is pushing down, the momentum has that double red dot, that VWAP's breaking, money flow's breaking, so overall not too good. If lower time frames don't sustain bullish momentum and get pushes here, then the daily is in danger of rolling over and pushing price action lower. RSI is overall trending out, momentum's overall trending out with a bearish divergence. Stochastic has a bearish divergence and our RSI is rolling away. Our money flow wants to break to the downside, so I would watch it closely on the lower time frame. Over on the 2 hour, we are trying to push up. We could form some sort of a sideways head and shoulders that could push us down, so I would watch out for that. It wouldn't be too big of a push, possibly to this 57 support. If we broke that support, then we could see continued price action down. Stochastic does want to weaken. Our VWAP is trying to overall head down. Our money flow is struggling to maintain a bullish trend, and our RSI is starting to head away. So overall, the 2 hour does look like we are getting exhausted and we could start to fall, even though we got this bullish cross. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic has a bearish cross. RSI is starting to push down because of it. Our momentum has a red dot and it wants to roll away. Our VWAP is trying to break to the bearish side. If it gets a lower low here, we would confirm a bearish trend. Our money flow is in danger of flipping bearish as well, so if that VWAP starts to favor the bearish territory, then money flow is likely going to follow, and we would see price action follow pretty harshly, especially if it leads into the higher time frame. Over on algo for the daily, we are trying to meet this point control still. We are getting rejected. Stochastic's pushing away, RSI is pushing away. Momentum has a double red dot. Our RSI has a double red dot, so overall those red dots want to bring us down. Our VWAP is overall pushing away, and our money flow wants to round away. Real quick, if you haven't gotten these indicators, they are right here. This is on TradingView. It is free, so if you want to follow along, I suggest you use them. We also have some other videos. If you're not familiar with us, this is our playlist. Stochastic is pushing out, RSI is pushing down. Overall, the daily does look like we could get exhausted and break some support. That VWAP wants to break, so I would watch a lower time frame. Over on the 4 hour, we could have a sideways head and shoulders going here too. Momentum overall has bearish divergence. Stochastic has bearish divergence. Our VWAP is starting to get lower highs and favor the bearish territory, so we are in danger of pulling to the bearish side as our money flow is starting to weaken. If the lower time frames look bad, then it's very likely the 4 hour and daily could start to push lower. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic wants to make a bearish cross here. RSI wants to push down. Momentum is rounding away after breaking to the bullish side with our VWAP, as our VWAP wants to break bearish and pull our money flow back down with it, so I would pay close attention to that. Over on the 1 hour, we have a reversal arrow that is starting to bring us down. Stochastic is starting to push down. Our RSI is pushing down. Momentum wants to round out. We have a red dot on momentum. Our VWAP is falling into the bearish territory, and the money flow wants to break as well. If that money flow starts to fall into the bearish territory and the VWAP favors the bearish side, it's likely we will see lower price action. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.